Hello, welcome back to the Nosy Girl podcast. I'm your host, Kori Blonde, and today we're talking about relationships. As you may or may not know, I am currently going through a breakup. I'm going to really try my best not to mask during this episode because I have a tendency to do that. And I'm going to try and be so straight up with you all. You girls are the reason why I'm here today, and I can't just sit here and not acknowledge that because you girls are a big part of my life, and I really, truly want to give that back to you at some stage if I'm not already. I just hope to give you some sort of knowledge, if not lessons, if not, I don't know. I'll always be 100% honest with you, even if the truth hurts. Dog walking guy and I are no longer together. We have broken up. It's kind of between you and I currently. I have kind of told TikTok here and there I'm going through a breakup, but you know, it's kind of been a passing comment because I think actually sitting down and addressing it on TikTok terrifies the living daylights out of me. And I think that's because people love to speculate. People have already started to speculate, and that scares me because I've never had to be in the public eye and had to receive hate, I guess. I call it hate because it's not true. When it attacks my character and my morals, that's when it gets to me. Like, you can literally call me ugly and I'll be like, okay, laugh in your face because I know I'm not. But when it actually comes for who I am, I know no one online will truly know who I am. So I'm bound to get it because people are bound to get it wrong. So I told you girls in the group chat, me and Dog Walking Guy have broken up. So it was a mutual decision. I mean, it had to be a mutual decision because otherwise one person's going to be in a relationship and the other one's not, right? Like, I don't know. It was actually a long time coming. When I took Dog Walking Guy off of socials, it was the beginning of when it started to be a bit, I want to say rocky, but it's not rocky. I honestly can't fault Dog Walking Guy to who he is. I think he's an absolutely amazing soul and is a great person and would never hurt a fly. I've had a lot of toxic, not very great relationships before. So to step into something that is really kind, caring, patient was new to me, and I had to learn a lot along the way. I had to unlearn a lot of things along the way. That's who he is. I think he's great, and I've always gassed him up. I'm never going to sit here and air out anyone's laundry that's negative because I don't think it's my place. The second I feel like one person's putting in more effort and the other one isn't, or the second I feel like I'm trying to communicate something, for an example, and we're just not aligning, we're just not on the same page, is when I start to think my brain can't emotionally do this right now. I have so much on my plate already that I'm trying to achieve, and I have a mission. And I know it can seem really selfish, but I am a big advocate to take the risks to better your life. The reason we broke up isn't because he did this, she did that, no speculating, nothing has happened, no one has cheated, no one has done anything bad, no one has lied. Like, literally, it's as simple as I said in the beginning of this whole process that I am going to put myself and my career first. And the second I feel that something is getting in the way of it, or someone's getting in between it, whether it's intentional or not, I'm going to have to park it. I'm going to have to part ways. And I've said this on TikTok before, and I've said this to him before, and I just don't think that he was necessarily on the same page as me. I never want to stop him from having the relationship he deserves. Honestly, I knew I couldn't give what he needed. I think in that time, for example, to be really transparent, I didn't really want sex. I don't enjoy it 9 times out of 10. Like, I'm not a sexual person, especially when my motivation is work, and I'm very work driven and career driven. I also don't want kids as it stands right now. Way too early for me. So I know that there's certain things that weren't aligning on that end. And I know people can be like, Kori, you don't owe us this much information, but I think it's necessary because my mission is a lot deeper than me just oversharing. Me oversharing online is to help people. Like, if this doesn't help someone, oh God, like, I overshared then. Sue me. Not literally, but you know what I mean. So I knew that I couldn't satisfy him the way that he maybe wanted me to. And I couldn't give certain things in a relationship that maybe an average girl could, or someone that wants to settle down could. And I don't think that's fair. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't all me and it wasn't all him. I think there was both parts to play. That's not to say either of us are a bad person. That's not to say he wasn't good enough, I wasn't good enough. It's just the point in life we're both at. I'm looking at it more of a relationship standpoint because that's what it is. I'm not in a relationship for financial gain. I'm not in a relationship for career gain. I'm not in a relationship for anything other than being in a relationship, to be honest with you. And I realized when I was in it, it's not actually something that I want right now or I need right now. And that's okay. And I think it's important to check that in yourself and be strong enough to say to the person and yourself that this isn't actually what I need right now, and you don't need it either. There is an immense amount of guilt sometimes, I feel. I hurt a good man because I had to leave and I had to sit there and be really, really strong in myself and my decision, knowing that this person is hurt, but all because I know that I have something I need to achieve and it's not fair on the other person. It's a really hard thing to navigate and explain if you don't have a mission yourself. Maybe you won't understand, maybe you will. I'm not expecting anyone to understand it. If you girls sit there and say, Kori, I don't agree with you, I don't align with you, okay. Like, I'm not asking you to. So the most important lesson I've learned out of this all is don't ever stay in something because you feel like it's going to hurt the other person, or don't ever stay in something because you feel like you can gain something out of it. Like, so many people have told me, Kori, don't address it. Don't, it's risky game addressing this dog walking guy stuff online. But that's just my life and who I am. I overshare my whole life. Like, I've accepted that. I want to look back when I'm 70 and look at all these lessons that I've learned, experiences I've experienced. And that's the whole point in it. I'm an ambitious woman and I have been my whole life. Like, no one talks about being an ambitious woman and being in a relationship. They're very hard things to navigate because I think as women, it's a lot harder to be the perfect girlfriend and also be a CEO. I think being a woman CEO is hard enough as it is. And I also think being a girlfriend is hard enough as it is. Being in a relationship is hard enough as it is. So trying to navigate those two things and deciding, okay, I have a good man that treats me well. And then on the other hand, you have, but this is my whole dream and my whole life. And I want to be traveling and living in different countries and building businesses and empires and having multiple chihuahuas and giving the best life to Pickle possible. Like, there's so many things that I want to achieve personally that wouldn't be fair on the other person because they don't want the same thing. It's really hard to weigh those two things up, but you have to choose yourself at the end of the day. Above all, you have to choose yourself. I actually sat down with myself for weeks because I tried to communicate with dog walking guy many times about certain concerns I had, let's say, about being on the same page and aligning with each other. And I just felt like we weren't meeting each other in the middle. And it was just a slippery slope downhill. And I really tried to want to save it. I could see that he was giving up a little bit. I just thought it's not fair on either of us. It's just not. And I don't think he necessarily would have been the first person to say, hey, let's break up. But he did admit to me that maybe you're right, Kori. I think you're right. I do agree. Like, I know that there was mutual feelings in it, but I know that it was a lot harder for him because I think he was a lot more ready than I was in terms of his career and his life. He was a lot more settled. He was a lot more comfortable. And I'm not in a position where I can be settled, nor can I be comfortable. I'm still living with my parents. I mean, he is as well, which is also another thing. I felt like it wasn't very progressive. I felt like we were both getting too comfortable, and which was the main reason as well. And I said to him, like, I really want to be in my own space, in my own flat. And it's not on him, but I don't want to move out with a man. I just don't. I've done it before. I've said it on my old podcast that I don't want to live with a man for a very long time. I want to have my own independence, my own space. I learned a lot through my previous relationship before this current recent ex, dog walking guy. And I learned that I need to have my own things. I need to have my own life. I need to have my own room, my own space. The minute you depend on a man for anything, the person that can feed you can also starve you. It's important to know that you should never have to rely on a man. I know a lot of people live together, and obviously that's the whole point in being in a relationship. At some stage you live together, you have kids, you get married and all of this stuff. But in order for me to want to do that and even be ready to even think about that, I need to be in my own place, not just financially, but mentally. It's really easy to get yourself wrapped up in something and love someone, care for someone, have these amazing feelings, but still want more out of life. And I think that's completely fine. I think I've sacrificed a lot to get to where I am. In fact, I know I have. And if this has to be a sacrifice, then so be it. Just because you love someone doesn't mean you're necessarily aligned. And I think that's a really important lesson. You can love someone, you can care for someone, and you can think they're the absolute amazing person in the world. But if you look at the facts and the logic and see what it really is for what it really is, if you can't both resolve it, then in my opinion, it's best to part ways. The hardest people to leave are often the good people because they haven't inherently done anything wrong. There is no good reason. Referencing Gracie Abrams right now. Great song. You know, you don't walk away from the relationship thinking, oh, he's an awful person. He's done X, Y, and Z to me. It's easy for your brain to think, what am I actually breaking up with him for? Because when people talk about breakups, it's, he cheated on me. He did this, he did that. He's an awful person. You know, and even 9 times out of 10, leaving an abusive relationship is really hard as well. Like, not going to beat around the bush with that one. I've stayed in relationships way too long when they've not been great. So I know both sides of the coin. When you leave a good person, you start looking for permission to leave. Someone doesn't need to do something horrible in order for you to leave. It just might not feel right. It might be as simple as that. I think as women, we have very strong intuitions. And if you feel like deep down, something's not right, it's probably not right. It's probably not right. And you hear it all the time, even in your sex life, if your body starts rejecting him in many ways. You know, it could be from simply him touching you and you feeling, ooh, no, please don't touch me. Or something a little bit deeper than that. I don't know, like your body always knows. And that's not necessarily to say my body knew, but it's not my main focus. My main focus isn't to have sex because the primary reason to have sex is to have babies. And I don't want babies. I can't think about that. That's how I knew I personally am not in a mind frame to be in a relationship, because what differentiates a relationship to a friend is sex. Really and truly. The second I turned 25, I really had to look inwards at my life. And I had to really sit with some hard truths. And I think that's when I started to realize I really need to lock in. Like, I really need to lock in, because what do you mean 5 years and I'm 30? I genuinely was having a quarter life crisis. That's when I started to think, I need to do something big with my life, because if I don't do it now, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. I am a big dreamer. I have big goals I want to achieve. I can't sit here and settle in a relationship that might not even be right for me, that might not even be right for him. Like, it's just not fair. Like, I don't know how else to put it. I don't just want to talk about my ambitions. I want to actually do them. I feel like I'm at this level. I've reached a really good level, but I need to take the next steps to get the level up. And in order for me to reach that next level, same with him, you have to do shit on your own. Like, with great achievements come great sacrifice. High risk, high reward, baby. Like, I am so into my motivational stuff and always have been. I used to watch TED Talks when I was younger. Like, one of my goals is to be a motivational speaker when I feel like I can get my words out, because half the time I feel like I can't. Like, I'm really struggling in this episode because I think there's a lot of things I want to talk about, but we can talk about it over time. I don't think I need to put pressure on myself to talk about it all in one episode, because there's so many lessons that I've learned. But yeah, I used to really be into my motivational speaking, and I think it's because I really felt like no one understood me. I was a very misunderstood child growing up. And I still think I'm misunderstood now, honestly. Like, I honestly still feel misunderstood, and that's okay. Like, I think I'm learning to accept the fact that I'm misunderstood because I know my intentions are good. Like, if my intentions were bad and I was misunderstood, well, God strike me down. Okay, fine. But I know my intentions aren't bad. So I don't really have any of that on my conscience. I don't know. See what I mean? Can't get my words out. How can I be a motivational speaker? So earlier I said about support, and I said, well, he was supportive, because I'm not going to sit here and say he wasn't supportive, because he was. And I think that was a big reason as to why I still continued the series, because at first he wasn't too happy about the series, because he was like, I don't like the public eye, I don't like this, I don't like that. And over time he became really supportive of it. But in the beginning I said, look, this is my career, this is what I do, and if you don't like it, I'm so sorry, but it's not going to work out. And that was like one of the first conversations we had. And it wasn't the support that was the problem. It was much more than that. It's all very well if someone can support you, but two people actively building a life together towards the same goal is so different. And I think we just had two different goals in life, and I run a strict program with that. Okay, if I'm going to be with someone, we need to have the same mindset and the same outlook. Neither of us were necessarily doing anything wrong. We just weren't moving forward. Something was almost stopping us. I felt like a metronome, and then something got stuck in between the metronome, and then it just kind of stayed stagnant. I think it's a metronome. What are those two ball things that swing side to side and they're like magnetic and they go... That. I felt like something got stuck, like a fly got squished in between, genuinely. And that's not good after 1 year. Relationships should always be progressive. You should always be bettering each other. You should never settle. And that's one of the main things that I stand by. I run a strict program. He wasn't holding me back. I was holding me back. For a while, I felt like my relationship was holding me back. I won't lie. For a while. Until I really had to do some self-reflection, and I thought, that's unfair, because he's not holding me back. He's not doing anything that is actively holding me back. I was holding myself back by standing in a place where I knew it wasn't right. Even after trying, my mind and my heart was trying to salvage something that couldn't be salvaged, because we were never going to be on the same page. I felt like a lot of the stuff was on me to try and solve, because he didn't know how to solve it. And then it just came to realization of, maybe he doesn't see a problem. Maybe it's me that sees the problem. And maybe we just have different standards. Maybe it's just we have different outlooks. Maybe we're just different. And then it hit me, and I was like, I can't ever speak something into existence for someone to change. No one can change. I can't make anyone change themselves. If they are who they are, then that's who they are, So yeah, choosing myself, it is selfish, but it's necessary, because I don't want to live in regret. The pajamas. Let's talk about the pajamas, okay? So to be transparent, Dog Walking Guy was helping me with the beginning stages of the pajamas, because he knows a lot about the fashion industry. So instead of me trying to sit there and figure it all out in the beginning, he was there to help me. You could be asking me, well, Kori, he literally knows everything about the business side that you want to do. So what do you mean he's not aligned with you? What do you mean he's... Again, I'm looking at it at a relationship standpoint, not a business standpoint, because they should be two separate things, and you should never rely on a man to help you in business. If you want to do this on your own and be a woman, boss, bitch, CEO, okay? So anyway, he was helping me out with all of that. And as we broke up, I said, look, I'm not expecting you to still remain helping me, because I think he still wanted to. And I said, I want to do this on my own. I want to figure this out on my own. I need to figure out suppliers on my own, decisions, pricing, website, how I sell things, how I market things. Like, I want to figure this out on my own. I know it's a scary thing and it's more on my plate, but I'm willing to share that journey with you, and I'm willing to do that myself, because think about the reward I'm going to have when I realize, oh my God, I did that myself. Because I've really struggled with self-belief and self-trust throughout my whole life, from being dyslexic when I was younger and not really feeling like I fit in academically or socially, because there was always something different in my brain. And that led me to never really trust my decisions because I was always wrong. I was always the child that was wrong. No, Kori, that answer isn't right. No, Kori, you're so stupid. How do you not understand? Why is it not going in? Like, these things over time make me not trust myself. So I need to do this to trust myself again and love myself again. And I think the biggest act of self-love was choosing myself. So I can't sit here and say I don't love myself, because I do. Otherwise I wouldn't be sat here or single on my own. Like, it's a scary thing to do, yes, but everything you want is on the other side of fear. And that is facts. Facts. Like, my mission this year is to do the things that scare me, and traveling scares me. I'm going to Croatia at the end of the month. Trying food that isn't my safe foods because I have emetophobia terrifies me. So I'm going to do that. I'm getting my hair done literally today as this goes out. And I'm making a crazy decision, but fuck it. Like, fuck it. I'm literally pouring everything back into myself again. And you will see, I will see, the world will see that Kori is going to become Kori again. And I felt like I just wasn't me for a long time. I just wasn't. Like, so yeah. Okay, and the final thing, how to know when to leave. Because I know a lot of you may be sitting watching this thinking, I want to leave my boyfriend. All right, I don't know. You might be thinking this. And it excites me if you are, because if you are, that means it's not right. And if it's not right, then I'm hoping that I have given you some kind of insight or some kind of spark in your brain to think, you know what, Kori, I'm in something that can be deemed as perfect on paper, but something doesn't feel right. If I can help you step away from that by realizing you're going to be okay on your own, whether you're relying on a man or not for anything, then so be it. If my whole purpose of blowing up on TikTok to do with dog walking guy, creating the group chat, and then coming out the other end and saying I've broken up with dog walking guy because I'm choosing myself, and that only helps one person, then so be it. So fucking be it. Like, the whole reason I made the Girl Math podcast last year, the year before that, and the whole reason I ever do content is to help the girls, is to help people. Like, I don't care what state I'm in. I don't care if I've got no makeup on. I don't care if I really don't want to film this right now, because I don't. I don't care. If someone's still listening to this stage, then fuck it. So how to know? Okay, how do you know? So I've spoken about it not feeling right. The signs I would personally look out for, if you're constantly questioning it, every day even, if it's every day, if it's once a week, if it's every fortnight, if you're just constantly questioning, is this relationship right for me? 9 times out of 10, it's not. It's not. I hate to break it to you. Another one is, you can love someone, but if you're not loving the life that you're building, that is a big indicator that they're not right for you. If you are dating for a long-term partnership, not just dating to date, because I personally date for long-term partnership if I am dating, and you're not loving the life that you're building, what's the point? Love is not strong enough to stay in a relationship. Loving someone is not strong enough. You need other things to stay with someone. You need their loyalty. You need their time. You need their priority. You need their mindset, similar outlooks on life. Like, there's so many things that go into it. Another sign is if you're feeling more excited about your future independently. If you're more excited about, oh, I'm so excited to travel to this country alone. That is a big indicator as well, that you don't necessarily see a life with this person, maybe. Another one is you're only staying because leaving is scary. Okay, yes, leaving someone is scary. Change is scary. But you know what? Once you make that decision, your decisions for the rest of your life are going to be so much easier. Once you do the hard thing doesn't seem so hard anymore. And it's just a thing. Another one is waiting for something dramatic to happen in order to leave. You might be waiting for your partner to cheat on you. Have you ever sat there and thought, oh, I really want this man to cheat on me. I really want him to cheat on me because I need a reason to leave. I want this person to be bad. I need a reason to leave. I mean, that's a big indicator that you shouldn't be in that relationship, and that's a big indicator that you should leave them. Straight up. And if you are feeling that way, that is on you, and you need to tell that person, I'm sorry, but I've got to part ways with you, because Otherwise, you're just hurting the other person intentionally at that point. And the last indicator is knowing something feels wrong, but not being able to explain why. Sometimes you don't need to explain why. Sometimes you don't need a why. If it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. You don't need to explain anything. You don't owe anything to anyone. Even if it's your mum, even if it's your friends, even if it's your family, even if it's your dog. Pickle doesn't know why me and Dog Walking Guy have split. She doesn't even know. I mean, yes, she's sad because she hasn't seen him in a while, but she'll get over it. She's got me. All right? A relationship ending doesn't mean it's failed. In fact, I look at me and Dog Walking Guy and I think that was a very successful relationship because I think we both got really great lessons and really great experiences out of that relationship. I know that I taught him what he does want in a woman. At least I think that was our last conversation. He also taught me to be myself. He taught me to be patient. He taught me to be mellow and not so quick to jump. I think I really needed him in that time and he needed me in that time, honestly. And I'm a big believer in that. You meet people at the right time for when you need it. And just because something hasn't lasted forever doesn't mean it's failed. It just means it served its purpose when it needed to. And that sounds horrible, but it's just life. Like, it literally is just life. So yeah, I hope I've made sense in this episode and I've not rambled about one main thing, but the main thing being is focus on yourself. Lock it in. Like, I don't know who needs to hear that, but I think when you get to my age, oh my God, I'm so old now, but I think when you get to my age, you start realizing a lot of things that make you think I've got no time to waste and I don't want to be wasting anyone else's time. Like, something that helps me is actually wearing a watch that ticks, because sometimes, like, I was literally napping the other day at Jude's and my head was next to my watch and I just heard tick, tick, tick. And I was thinking, oh my God, time's going by and I'm not doing anything. And it started stressing me out. I hope I've made sense, guys. But if I haven't, then I haven't. I just want the girls that are listening that may think they're in a relationship and that it's not right for them. I want you to know that you have got the courage to leave, because you don't need a man. And I know that's such a cliche saying, but you don't need a man. You can figure it out. Guess what? Have you hit rock bottom before? The answer is yes, you have. I know you have. And have you figured it out? Oh, blimey, you're still here. Yeah, you have. So why are we still with him? Okay, rest my case. So I guess I'll walk the dog alone. Not that she walks anyway with me, really. But we'll make it happen, won't we, Pickle? She's got her nappy on. She's on her period. You going to post soon? We need to get you some brand deals going. Pets at home? She's lazy. But I appreciate everyone's support up until now. And I hope to still bring you along with me. I've got some very exciting things and this journey I'm excited to show you. I'm kind of excited. I'm actually kind of excited to see what this brings. Make sure you girls are following the Nosy Girl HQ Instagram for more updates. If you want to get involved with future episodes, I have asked you girls about your dating dilemmas, so I will be answering those very soon. And yeah, look out for the pajamas when I release them. Make sure you look out for the vlog on Sunday. I post vlogs every Sunday and podcast episodes every Wednesday. And that is everything. I will see you girls on Sunday or next week if you want to listen to the podcast. Goodbye.